maybe the doctor just automatically just writes antidepressant prescriptions for anybody that comes in with a Jets anything on, it's like, oh, Jets. Well, let me just start this script right away.
Xanax for you, Jets fan. Let me get this started. I got a list. You got a list. You got all kinds of stuff. So let's get this started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to very special. I don't know what word. I just wanted to say a very special episode of Third and Too Long, another Jets podcast. We got a lot to talk about. Fortunately, there's a lot of Jets news to talk about. We could even cover the whole time and not even have to talk about the Dolphins game. We could be, but that would be irresponsible. That would be irresponsible.
Irresponsible.
And we're very responsible on this Jets podcast. So we are going to talk about the Dolphins game, but there's so much crazy Jets stuff going on. We're going to talk about Brick Johnson, our potential general manager. We're going to talk about the Mark Gastineau, Brett Favre crazy thing. That's a crazy piece of video I've seen in a long time. And then we're going to talk about the stupid game against the Dolphins. Stupid.
I think you guys are going to have to fill me in. I've been a little preoccupied right after the game. We had some issues going on. So some of that stuff I'm not up on.
And the fact that you're not up on the Brick Johnson or Mark Gastineau story is that's good for you. That's healthy and normal.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. All right. You know what? Let's get the Dolphins game out of the way. So the Dolphins game, it's a historic game because it's the first time anyone had the stupid score of 32-26. So that was a first in the history of the National Football League. Dolphins 32, Jets 26. Would you guys like to be reminded of your predictions on the game?
Yeah, I think we need to be reminded. I do.
Let's start with mine. Mine was in a shocking turn of events wrong. I had it 24-13 Jets. I for some reason I thought the Jets would be professionals for a week and play a little bit of football. They played a little, not enough. We'll get into that. Gino, you were really, really close. You had it 28-20 Dolphins.
Yeah.
And Dean, you were not far behind them. You were 28-17 Dolphins. So you guys were really pretty close. If you took the overtime out of it, you probably would have been right on. But Gene, what's your take on this game? Was so bad it caused health problems at your house. That's how bad this was.
It really did. If there was the opening drive, like the Dolphins put on a clinic to start the game.
Yeah,
it was a clinic, and they get an unnecessary roughness penalty,
right?
Interference in the end zone. It's we're talking. There's no defense. It's this defense stinks. They just stink. And they're undisciplined.
Yes, they
That's
are.
all I got.
And but that penalty kind of took the wind out of the sails of the Dolphins. And the Jets sort of, and I can't believe these words are going to come out of my mouth, sort of took control of the game. Right? And they were up. I mean, this was a classic Jets. We're going to play for 3 quarters and then we're going to just check out. They were up 23-15. They were in the I can't even believe I'm saying these words. They were in the driver's seat in this game. 3 quarters in. What did you think?
They did score points in every quarter. Now, has that even happened this season at all? I mean,
we need a stat expert. That's a good one.
I mean, they were playing till the end. They didn't stop playing. Whatever that means.
I don't know about that. and they kind of gave up in the last half of the fourth quarter, and then overtime flipped the coin. Dolphins get the ball, march down the field like they're Super Bowl champions. Nobody there to stop them. Go in and score a touchdown. The vaunted Jets defense, just like they already went to the locker room.
They did. No, and they reverted back to the first drive that it was a clinic on the offensive on the Miami side.
Yeah,
Just drive down, and the Jets were, the defense just sucks.
yeah,
And you know, that's what you hit it before. Three quarters.
yeah, and
Play
no
three
discipline,
quarters.
and no discipline. Both. It was amazing to me how similar these two teams are. Right? You both have two quarterbacks who have talent, but neither one should really be playing in the NFL. With the head
Mhm.
injuries and Mr. Rogers' advanced age, they both have great wide receiving cores. Uh, they both scored the same number of penalties, I think, very close. No discipline on either side of the ball for either team.
You know what was there was one it was the first half, uh, 4th and 4,
Yeah,
and they went for it. I was like, all right,
yeah, I want to see
it was
that.
early. It wasn't a desperation win. 4th and 4, 30 yard, 30 yard play. I was like,
Yeah.
bang, all right, I'm getting jacked up. They sucked me back in.
But that was it. Then they that was all the plays they had, and they got to overtime and they went, hey, we're out of plays. We don't have any more. We've done all the ones on the sheet. We don't. Oh, we could
I,
start over on the top of the sheet. I didn't realize that.
I,
Yeah.
obviously I don't get to see the game, right? Because it's never in network. But like looking at the stats of the game, right? Aaron Rodgers threw for over 300 yards. Tua threw for over 300 yards.
Yeah,
I mean, all the statistics are very, very similar on both sides. But one touchdown, one receiving touchdown. Who was he throwing the ball to this whole time? Was he just scattering it around the field? I mean, was there no like yardage after a catch? I mean, it's just amazing. With that many yards, you would think there would be more receiving touchdowns.
You won.
There was
But
two. Miami had two.
yeah,
and Garrett Wilson had, was it third by the third quarter he was over 100 yards.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Lazard came back. I know he had a couple of catches. Um, Devontae Adams, he scored the touchdown. He had a couple of catches. I mean, and Rogers, he didn't look. He had a couple of overthrows. He's definitely, for some reason, you think at the age, you think the arm strength might not be there, but typically the accuracy would stay, right?
yeah, yeah.
He he's been off,
It's
you
the
know.
opposite. It's the opposite.
Yep, and when he's on the run, he's a good scrambling pass thrower, right? Always has been, and he's off when he's on the run. He's not the same, But still, I still want him back. Believe it or not, I want Rodgers next year. I'm
Oh,
happy
we
with
need
that.
we need to we need to talk about that. But yeah, you know what? That was my impression of the game was he was. There were times when gee, if he'd put that ball 6 inches to the left or 6 inches a little further and hit the guy on the run. I mean, I just felt like his accuracy was off by
Yeah,
but not a lot. But it's the NFL, so you really got to be on it. You really got to be on it.
yeah,
So is that age? I don't know.
yeah. Typically, that's I say the accuracy shouldn't be an issue. It's the strength and the mobility, but you know, eh, yeah, it was fun to watch for 3 quarters.
Yeah,
I was
right.
I was enjoying the game.
It was
Other than, well, the
it was a
first drive
lively game.
yeah, I was disgusted, and then got happy, and then got disgusted.
Discuss it again. At least the overtime wasn't a long, painful ordeal. At least they put us out of our misery quickly, and we could
It was
all
over
get on with
fast.
our lives.
I have to say that I am now a Alan Lazard fan. Of course, I was skeptical
Ah,
at first, but I have to say, he liked one of my comments on Facebook. So, I mean, well, they,
How could you not?
they,
That's
they,
all it takes. That's all it
that's
takes. If you
it.
want
There,
Dean to
there
be
was a
your
picture.
fan, just
Yeah,
just like a post.
yeah, there was a picture of Rogers walking into the stadium, and I commented, I said he should just keep on walking to retirement. Somebody else chimed in and said, well, he's still
Oh,
got a good arm. And I said, well, he should use it. And that's the comment that Alan Lazard liked. He liked the
Whoa.
comment that Aaron Rodgers should use his arm. See, so he's back
wow.
in my good graces.
This is a
So even
different.
though he was
This
not
is a
targeted
different.
much his last
That's a different Dean than we get on the podcast.
game.
Look,
Yeah.
feisty keyboard warrior over there.
That's it. That's it. Yes. Yeah. Can be faceless on social. So I'm good. So
Here's my favorite stat from the game. It's actually not even necessarily from the game. Tyreek Hill, right, the very talented Dolphins receiver, who had a game who was like again two through for he had about the same numbers as Aaron Rodgers, and I thought Wilson had Tyreek Hill had about the same numbers, for the day. But Tyreek Hill,
Look at this. Look at
oh,
this.
Jets fan dog.
He decides he wants to join the party. Look at the size of his head.
He's like
So
a cow.
choke it down. He
Right.
just decides he's coming in.
Here's here's my favorite stat. This season, Tyreek Hill has had more babies than touchdowns. He has had four
Boy,
touchdowns and five newborn babies.
nice.
so
He's a Hall of Famer on and off the field. Absolutely, he is. He has 10 children, and I didn't really count, but I think to do five babies in 1 year, I think that's going to require multiple moms.
he
I'm gonna
must he
guess.
must be he must be Blue
Maybe
Chew's number one customer at this point. So
He's got a punch card at the maternity ward. Oh, 10? You get one free.
if you remember, who was the defensive other cornerback aside Cromartie.
Oh yeah, right. Mario Cremona.
He had 9 children with 8 different wives.
Wow. Wow. That sounds like
That's a lot of work.
a tense Thanksgiving.
yes,
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, I just God bless.
Or I should say different moms.
Different moms.
Yeah,
That's right. That's very nice.
that's funny.
Yeah.
More
So
kids than touchdowns.
yeah, more kids than touchdowns this year. So Tyreek Hill getting some yards, but not getting in the end zone. So he's having a tough year too.
Comes home, honey. It's time. You're behind.
Right.
Popping off.
We got to at least keep this even. So hope maybe he gets a touchdown before the season is over. All right, let's move on from that game. And you know what? That game was just it made me sad. It made me sad because a lot of times the Jets will, as soon as the Jets are pretty much out of it, they'll start to win some games. The games that don't count, they'll start to win. Well, they're not even winning the games that don't count, and they've left Miami is actually still mathematically possible to get into the playoff. That's what we
Yeah.
have done as the Jets.
the Jets will
Say it
win
again.
just enough to ruin any and all prospects in the draft. So this is what they'll do. So it's going to do them any good anyway. But they'll try to align to get a certain player, and then
But you know
Yeah.
what? I think we're in worse shape than that, though. I mean, we're back to the team with no coach, no general manager, maybe a quarterback. I know Gene wants Aaron Rodgers to come back. Some talent, which we did not have the last time when we hired Robert Saleh. We do have some talent. I don't know how long they're around for, but who is this a job somebody wants? Head coaching, general managing? I mean, it's the NFL. I'm sure somebody wants it.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, if there's availability, somebody wants a shot, right? So someone's going to take that shot, but that's the issue. Like first timers is just not something that this team with all this talent is ready for. and it's
Yeah.
complete setback. You got a first timer, we're starting from scratch again, you know. So, and then the question is there somebody who's not a first timer that wants the job, right? Somebody wants it because everybody wants that shot. You got to take the shot, right? Just like our interim coach now, right?
Right.
Same thing.
You say yes to that. You say yes to that opportunity.
Yeah,
Had this gone differently, he might have been a genius.
yeah,
But
yeah.
all right, I'm going to
Yeah,
say a
well,
name. Go ahead, Dean.
I think there's lots of coordinators out there all across the NFL that would all be perfectly happy to step up and see what they can do in a lead role because, you don't do so good as the head coach. There's always the opportunity to go back to being a coordinator somewhere. There's always a team in need and all that. So, I don't see why somebody wouldn't want to take that shot. And then of course it's the pressure though, right? Is it probably not for the faint of heart to step into New York and to
Well, that's
take
it.
over this team or any sports really in the city of New York. It's brutal,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, you have to be pretty thick-skinned, would be my guess.
Any big market is going to be a lot of pressure, but I think New York is the next level of that. I
Right.
mean, I've been to practices, and the intensity from the media every day is the championship conference.
Yeah.
Every day is a media press. You know, like every single day is a press conference. Like they're on it. So some players, whether it's baseball or football, even basketball, don't want to come to New York.
Right.
Most
To
An
of
be in
them
that
do because they
expectation.
fishbowl.
all
There's an expectation to win in New York, right? I mean,
yeah,
No,
and
no,
yeah.
no, we're fine with it. We've been fine with it now. 15 years, no playoffs. We're totally good.
Well, then the expectation is that you are required to turn the team around. That's the expectation.
Here's let's talk about expectations just for fun. I put into Chat GPT. If I'm a 12-year-old NFL fan, why should I be a New York Jets fan?
No, did you put that
I
in?
did. I did.
Great.
And you know what his first thing was? It went on
What?
about history and tradition and it pulled up 1969 and Joe Namath. That's where we are.
We're still hanging on that.
We're still hanging on that from 1969. We
Yeah.
were children in 1969. So, and the other thing it said is that it's a fun team because you never know what's going to happen. Which that's putting it in the best possible light.
It's a fun team because you never know what's going to happen. Well, I think they nailed that part of it.
That I think I would agree. I want to throw out two names to you for potential head coaches, and I'm way out there. Uh, I'd love to see Deion Sanders coach this team.
Well, prime time would be perfect for the media.
I agree, and I think and the players would love him. The defense would come back to life. I don't know if he would do it though. I know he wants the Cowboys job. I don't know. I don't know if he would come and take the Jets job. Um, I think he'd be awesome. I think Cliff Kingsbury would be a great fit for the Jets. I think he's always given me Sean McVay vibes, and I think in the right situation he could be something. You know,
Yeah,
those
I
are my
I
two
love
teams.
that.
My two.
I love that pick. I love Kingsbury. He, he's just got a different energy. Just
Yeah.
like you said, he's got a different energy. He's kind of like he's a player's guy, right? So kind of like Sala was a player's guy, but I think he's just got a different mentality. I think he would be a good fit. That's a solid call.
And a good offensive mind, not a brand new. I mean, he's been a head coach. I mean, it was the Cardinals, it was a disaster, but he's not going to have to learn on the job. So I don't know. I haven't heard. I'm the only one who's come up with that word, with that name. I don't even think anybody's thinking about it.
So, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about the self-promoting Rex?
Oh my gosh. You know what?
He's
I
out
don't
there.
know. I don't know.
He's
Has the
throwing it
train
up.
left the station?
He's got the lights going. He's got the bat signal coming, right? He's on it.
He's buying
He's on
billboards
it.
at the office. He's got
Yeah. Like like Woody knows he's ready. He's
I don't know. I don't hate it, but and he's been out for a while. Things have
you know,
changed.
listen, he's like Trump. He's a pitch guy. He's letting you know he's there, right?
Yeah.
How about the other name? How about Gruden?
Look. If I'd take John Gruden in a minute. I'm a huge John Gruden fan. I'm loving all his stuff on Barstool Sports that he's doing. Uh,
I haven't watched it. I have to watch it.
it's so good. He's just nuts. He's just nuts. And he's a guy who you can almost say, gee, has he been has the game passed him by a little bit? But I love his attitude. I think people would play for him. Listen. I'd do it. I'd do it. I would think his name. I think his name winds up in every head coach vacancy. Everyone goes, well, we can get Gruden. So if he wants to come back to the game, he'll have an opportunity. I'd like to
I don't
see.
know as recruit. That's the question. Can they recruit today's players? Right? Do they have enough of that star power from the past to really be an influence on getting players to come to that team,
Well,
right? That has got to be a hard job being a recruiter. I mean, the only thing you have, right, is 1969 and a fat checkbook. You have nothing else to go on. You have nothing to offer anybody, right? Other than just the chance, the
I don't know.
outside chance that this is going to happen, you know?
I don't know if that's fair. I mean,
Here's a
if
selling
Rodgers
point.
comes back, you got Wilson, you got if Devontae Adams comes back. I mean, you've got some talent to play with.
You, yeah, you
But
do.
you
You
were
do.
you were you were going to say something.
And part of the selling point, right, to this is if I'm recruiting, I'm like, listen, you know, even if we suck,
Hmm.
but if you can show that you're fantastic, you're talking the biggest market in the country. You're
Mhm.
talking, you're talking endorsements. You're talking you are the man. And don't forget to get to this level, there's a huge ego that comes along with these players because they've been on a pedestal their whole lives because they're next level. Since they're 6 years old, they're next level.
Yeah,
It is, and so they're always the top dog, and that's I'm not righting or wronging it, but that's the reality. So if I'm going to recruit, I'm also recruiting. Hey, here's the other possibilities because if you're as good as you think you are, and you want to prove it, you got some opportunities in the biggest market in the country, right? That would be my sell on it. If
I'd leave out the part about us
because you
sucking.
don't have much else.
I'd leave out the sucking part. That might not be quite so good.
Well, see, you see, me, I'm going to close. You close on worst case scenario, right? And anything from worst
Huh?
case scenario
Huh?
up, you're
Is a
good.
win. You're in the bonus. So okay, does Rodgers come back? Do we want Rodgers back? What's the
I think
option?
it depends. I'm going to say it depends. It
He's
depends on
wearing
what happens
depends. Is
in
that
the
what you're
draft.
saying?
What happens in the draft, right? And I would like to see
Oh, come
Rodgers come
on.
back.
How many times have we been through that? Draft some young
Well,
player and
exactly,
ruin their
but we're not going to.
lives.
The Jets are not going to stop going through that,
Yeah.
obviously, right? But I think Rodgers, like the whole idea with Rodgers and Zach Wilson was Zach was going to, learn from the man and then be able to take over the helm, right? I still think that's a possibility. I think there's still an opportunity for a quarterback to learn and grow under him. So I wouldn't mind seeing that happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, we just have to see what happens in the draft, and maybe they get somebody. Maybe they get this kid from Penn State that Garrett Wilson's all high on, right? And and maybe that's it. Maybe he wins the job over Rodgers in training camp. Who knows, right? I think it just depends. I think he wants to come back. I would say Rodgers probably wants to come back. He don't want to go out like this.
Well, I think Rogers made the comment that he definitely wants to play another year.
Mhm.
Not necessarily with the Jets, but he wants to play. He threw that out there,
Right.
which is unfortunate because for me, where I stand. I said it a couple of times. I want him back, and I want him back for the reasons you just said, Deep. Right? Draft some kids, develop somebody. What happened to that concept? That's
Right.
gone.
Yeah. I agree
That's
with that.
gone.
Yeah.
So he's the perfect guy. You know, and I would jack him up and say, listen, this is your opportunity because he was supposed to be the Zach Wilson mentor. Remember that?
Yeah. And I still think that we were way too hasty to pitch Zach Wilson overboard when he really never got that. He never really got what we sold him, which
No.
was you hold the Microsoft Surface and you watch Aaron Rodgers do the thing for a year, which is not an insult at all, and then you're ready to go because you've been tutored by one of the greats.
Hold the surface and go after the MILFs. That's all you got to do.
That's the Zach Rogers plan for success.
That's all you got to
Yeah.
do.
Hey, you know what? I mean, look, you could even go far back as I'm still mad we got rid of Sam Darnold. I mean, look at he put up monster numbers for the Vikes. I mean, he looks like a real quarterback.
He does. Yeah, and everything is, oh my God, he's going to the Hall of Fame. Well, look, he's slipping. Well, and now he's back up. Yeah, just like any other, you know, decent quarterback. It's got the
Right.
ups and downs. He looks good.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, I mean, I know the game has changed a little since the '90s, but the first year Troy Aikman was with the Cowboys, they won one game, and they stunk for a few years till they got the whole thing put together. And then during that time, he learned to be Troy Aikman. It takes a little time, it takes a little patience. So I don't know. I'm torn on the Aaron Rodgers of it all. I think I want him back because I just can't. I just don't know. I just don't know what the option would be.
Still think there's a coaching issue
Oh
with
yeah,
within the Jets, right? Because why are these other quarterbacks going off and being successful, right? We dismiss them quickly and then they go off and they're successful. I'll even throw out um, Russell, right? Like he is playing pretty good with Pittsburgh, right? But people kind of cast him aside. But here he comes, right? And now he's kind of had a revision of his career, right? That
right.
has got to have a lot to do with coaching, confidence, building this guy up. You're going to go out there, you're going to take the helm. Why is that not happening, or why is it not evident that it's happening at the Jets?
Yeah, I
Right?
agree.
Why is that? So
And look, I think I'm a huge Mike Tomlin fan, and I think he's a fantastic coach. I think he hires well. You look at his numbers; they're every bit as good as Chuck Noll's numbers were at this point in their career, and I
yeah.
think good O line, good coaching, and I think
We've talked about this and a good
yeah,
organization.
and a good organization. It really does. So speaking of the organization, let's slide over to this because we were running out of time and we got to get to our off the field Jets news. So it came out this week, the rumor that Woody Johnson's 17-year-old son, Brick Johnson, get it? Woody Brick, um,
Uh-huh.
that he wanted to have 3 years ago, he wanted to have more to do with, dad's business, the one that's losing money, the Jets. And that he's been involved. He's been in the draft room, and the rumor is that he's been the shadow general manager for the last 3 years, not Joe Douglas.
Okay.
He's
Look, I'm
so
already getting.
from what
I'm already. I already have to get some Advil.
well, well, I have a couple of comments here. So one, right, a along with Tyreek Hill, right? Maybe Woody is Blue Chew's number two customer because he has a 17-year-old son. And maybe the new campaign, right, for Blue Chew is
for
Brick
Blue
Hard,
Chews. Nice.
right? So, all right. So all
And they
jokes
say he
aside,
makes all his decisions based on social media.
social media. That's right. Exactly.
Rumor,
So influences on social media.
which brings us back to Rex Ryan.
Right.
Right. So
Rex Ryan's going to slide into his DMs, like the kids say. Hey, Brick, it's your old pal, Uncle Rex.
Hey, bro.
right.
Oh my goodness.
Hit me up on MySpace. But but yeah, I mean, I think that's interesting news, but I'm not completely shocked, I guess, to
It's
hear some involvement there.
the fact that that story would go out, ridiculous as it is, and when we are talking about it, shows where the Jets are. That we're going, well, that could have been, maybe. That's where the Jets are right
Yeah.
now. We're that team.
Well,
And
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 and you
did you
get it.
did you,
All right.
did you see the Onion headline that I sent you guys?
Yes.
Oh, I have it behind the screen here. I cracked up.
You read it
That's
for us.
So,
perfect.
Read it into the record.
like I have to get with the times. I don't know the Onion, but like I have to start partaking in all the social aspect of the world here. But yeah, this is great. Great. More parents say allowing a child to play football. Not worth risking drafted by the Jets. I love it.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
it just continues the laughing stock of the Jets
I know.
across all media outlets. Even fake media outlets are making up fake stories about the Jets.
And you know what? I want to say something a little maybe shocking. Is I'm blaming Jets fans for all this too, because I
Sure.
think we're all too satisfied with being the punching bag joke. And I mean, look, this is it 14 or 15 seasons without playoffs. Everybody's just a little too happy to be do we're Jets fans, and just be in this punchline. I don't know what we should do about it, but
What can you do?
what can
What
you
can you
do?
can, should well, but they could wear the bags on their heads. They're already doing that.
Right.
You could, like the Giants just flew the prop plane pulling the flag over the stadium. The Jets have done that years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You
and
know,
we'll get the $5 tickets on StubHub before the season's over. So it's like
it's not even
I
worth
don't
that because if you live on Long Island to get over to the Meadowlands, it's such it's such a hassle. It's you know it is it's crossing it's crossing the country. You can't get there from here. So
it's on the
to
other side
to
of the
put
Hudson
up with
River.
what you have to watch, it's not worth the effort and the
Right.
time because it'll
Right.
take you 4 hours to get back to Suffolk County
Right.
after
The
a game.
juice
So
is not worth the
you're not getting
squeeze
out.
there. Yeah.
So to have this product on the field, what are you going to say? I don't know. Stop going to the games. I don't know. What's it going to take?
Well, here's something else to consider. Would you still be a Jets fan if they moved to Oklahoma or Nebraska or some other place like that?
Wow. Wow.
Right? I mean, look at the where are they now? The A's, right? In baseball, right? They were the Philadelphia Athletics, then they moved to Kansas, they were the Kansas City Athletics, then they moved to Oakland, they were the Oakland Athletics. Now they're in Vegas, right? So and there are fans that have followed them over each of these things. Would Jets fans follow them, or are they Jets fans because they're attached to New York, which is part of the whole allure, of this team?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Throw my 2 cents in there. I think that the Jets fans are so entrenched in New York. That would be it. I don't think the Jet fans would follow if they left New York, even though yes, they play in Jersey, right? We get it. It's across the water. That's fine. But no, if they left and went to Midwestern state somewhere, I think
That'd be
they'd
it.
lose 90%. Like I don't even know what I would do, you
Well, look,
know?
it's the same problem with the Chargers when the Chargers moved from San Diego to LA. That was really more than the fans could take, and that's not that far, you know.
It's
So
not that far,
I
and
don't
it's
know.
still
I'd love to see them. Frankly, I'd love to see them out of the Meadowlands. I wish that whole deal would have worked out with a stadium in Manhattan. Even God forbid Nassau County.
well, that's it. I was just going to interject. The Nassau kind of the Coliseum. Mow that thing down, which I think it's mowed down now. Because the Islanders are out, and they're in a new stadium. It's great. I've been there a few times. Can't think of the name. It's in Elmont, but get them out to Nassau County.
Yeah,
It's a Long Island team.
right, right. Move
Do
out
it.
there.
Because
Which
What
you're
about
not. I don't think the West Side's going to work out. Remember they were trying to do that.
for the
Did you remember
Olympics,
that?
that was the stadium they were going to build for the Olympics.
Where here in Charlotte, right? You got the Panther Stadium downtown, right in the middle of downtown. Okay, yeah, it's not New York. You can't squeeze that in like tailgating and the whole thing, and it would be.
Right,
I don't think the West Side. I would love it. I think it's cool to be in the city, but they need to be out on the islands. If you ask me.
right. They
no
need to
space in
be.
Queens? They
Yeah,
can't squeeze that somewhere into Queens, a stadium.
more likely there in Queens County or Nassau, but certainly Nassau County, you could do it and have plenty of room for all the sheet rockers and pipe fitters to come to the game and tailgate and all that. All right, before we run out of time, we got another off-field Jet story. This one's just really weird. I don't know if Dean, if you had a chance to watch this video, but it's a little background on this. Apparently, Mark Gastineau, Jet great sack guy, defensive rusher, um,
Exchange.
got into it with Brett Favre. I mean, got into it. If you have not seen this video, Gastineau, who's he's up there, he's got some health issues, still a very big, scary man. Look at the video. It's like
He is.
even Brett Favre was like, okay, Mark. But so he's still pissed about 2001 when Michael Strahan sacked Brett Favre on kind of a slide sack sort of deal to get one more sack than Gastineau to take the single season sack record. Gastineau is still mad. He thinks he got into Brett Favre's face and accused him of basically taking a dive to give Strahan that record.
I don't believe it. Brett Favre's too much of a competitor. He ain't taking a dive.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. And I mean, why would you if you're Brett Favre and you're still with the Packers, Brett Favre, why would you even process that to where it's like, oh, I got to do this so I can take the record away from Gastineau.
Yes, no, come on, Mark. Just you know what? Go cry to Brigitte, okay?
Well, 2018, he's part of that whole lawsuit with the concussions with the NFL. And in
Yeah.
2018, now he's part of it, but he's not medically approved to get the money. I don't know. It's very complicated. But in 2018, he said he's got Alzheimer's, he's got Parkinson's, and he's got dementia.
For 25 years of steroids probably didn't help that.
Probably not. And getting hit in the head by other large men.
Steroids since you've been 12 years old, tearing people's heads off. It's got to do something to you long term.
So watch that video. It's very uncomfortable.
All right.
It's interesting.
Where am I finding that video?
That would be on the ESPN.
Yeah,
Oh,
just yeah, you can just Google search
can you
Gastineau
spell that
Favre.
again?
What kind of disturbs me is why did Gastineau pick an autograph session? Right?
Probably
Like
don't tell you
it
something.
feels like an
It's probably
autograph
the first time
session
you've
that
seen
Brett
him since
Favre was at.
2001.
You know? Why did he pick that? Couldn't he have done that in an email or like a handwritten letter with a stamp? I mean, I know he's trying to get the media attention. And is he mad that Strahan has this, unbelievable success and maybe, still has his like sort of, S together, right? He doesn't have the problems that Gastineau has, or at least
Right.
it's not obvious, you know. And when you search when you search Strahan, right, it comes up that he's a TV personality and a journalist before a football player, right? I mean, that's his identity now.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
you
maybe
know,
we need to a show called Good Morning Gastineau. And then he could cook a little and have a fashion show and be nice.
He'd have his opening monologue and his closing statements. Brett Favre took a dive.
That'll be his catchphrase. Brett Favre took a dive. It's kind of sad because Gastineau is that was like that was a real Jets high point, and so it makes me sad that he would go out with that memory. So anyway,
yeah,
that's it.
he he did maintain an incredible mullet his whole entire playing career. I
Hall
have
of
to say,
Fame.
I
Why
mean,
is
if
the
he is
mullet not
not a
in the Hall
football
of Fame
player,
on its own?
if he's not a football player, he is definitely a Canadian hockey player, right? He just has that look, you know. So
And
he's got that
he's got
going
the
for him.
French. He's got the French name. He's got
That's right. He
the
does.
unspellable French name.
That's
Gastineau.
That's the new.
Maybe that was his mistake.
Maybe.
Maybe
Maybe.
that was it. He could have been the
so
enforcer on the Rangers or something.
here we go. Him
All
and
right,
Clark
guys.
Gillies.
That's
So
it. Who are we playing next week? I'm so depressed. I can't even think.
Yeah,
I
of
don't even know.
course.
Who?
The equally terrible Jaguars.
so
Oh, should we have
well,
predictions?
well, yes.
Let's
We
have
should have
predictions.
predictions.
And Gene, I know you have a point to close us out with. I saw the finger.
I do.
I saw the finger. Let's do predictions. All right, against the equally terrible Jaguars. Uh, who wants to go first?
I'll go.
First.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sure.
Since there was a pause, but Dean was about to say it, so go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna go Jets 23,
23.
Jaguars, riding the heels of the terrible Jaguar car company reimagination. Jags 20. It's going to be a close one.
All
The
right.
Jets are going to do just enough to continue to ruin their draft pick opportunity.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Really, Jacksonville should, on the heels of the Jaguar rebrand, they should just change their name too. Oh,
It
what?
started with their rebranding. That whole thing, if I had a Jaguar, I'd sell it right now. It just annoyed me. So look, it's very close, Dean. Well, you
It's out
probably
of
can't
focus.
see
I
it.
can't see it.
I can't see it.
Wait,
You're blurred out.
you can't see it.
I can't
Ah.
see it.
Well, 24-20 Jets.
24-20 Jets. All right. Well, you know what? I'm 28-21 Jets. A relatively high scoring affair. So that's 49. I probably should have gone a little higher, but I'm going to go 28-21 for the Jets over the Jaguars. Is that in Jacksonville or is that in
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah, they're in
Maryland?
Jacksonville.
Who knows?
Matter.
Who knows?
Doesn't matter.
All
Who
right,
knows?
Gino, the last word for you.
So Joe Beningo's a radio personality at WFAN.
Yep.
Love the guy. He's the guy. He actually won the contest and became, one of the personalities. Which is I love the guy. The guy's great. He's got such a heavy, Brooklyn accent and the whole thing. He's very, very passionate. He's a passionate Mets fan and he's a passionate Jets fan, right? So he's right up my alley. And it's what he said. He goes, this last game, he goes, it ruined my immune system. I'm not even kidding because I wasn't feeling well after the game. He went and got tested. He's got COVID. He's blaming on the Jets.
Oh,
Ruined
poor
my
Joe.
immune system.
That's the
That's
power
all I
of the
got.
Jets right there. That's the power. All right, guys, that is it for this week. That is it for Third and Too Long, another Jets podcast. We had everybody on this week. We had Gene, we had Dean, we had Vinny. We'll see what happens next week. This was another Another tough episode, but we rallied. We did it. Gene,
Rallied, we did it.
take us out. Best chant in football. JETS.
I lost it. I lost that.
Yes.
I thought you were just too. I thought you were too depressed to do the Jets chant.
Even say it.
Hey, no, but you know what? It really is the best chant in football. JETS. Jets, Jets, Jets.
All right, that is it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye, everyone.